Have you ever had a private stream all to yourself? Welcome to Dehradun. Hello and good morning from Dehradun. I am in Mal Devta, which is about 1 hour away from Dehradun city. And I want to show you where I'm staying. I'm staying at Ghost Stops Mal Devta, which is a very beautiful property. Like you can see, there's like a stream flowing here and it's in the midst of the mountains, literally. It's one of the most beautiful properties I've ever seen, to be honest. So come, I'll show you around. So I stayed at Ghost Stops Mal Devta for 2 nights 3 days, which cost me 1070 rupees. Yani 535 per night. It's so cheap because I stayed in a dorm. But obviously you have other stay options like a private room and also a dorm room starting 2249 per night. Hi and good morning. It's about 10:30, 11 a.m. ish in the morning and आज का plan है to go to Dehradun city. Unfortunately, it's about 1 hour away from where I'm staying, 45 minutes to 1 hour away from where I'm staying, and I'll have to hire a cab, so that's what I did. Going via scooty is a little time consuming and it's not very feasible. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Super excited. Hiring this cab cost me around 1500 to 2000 rupees for the entire day, which is not a bad deal. But yeah, let's see how it goes. आज के आइटनरी में we are going to explore some popular tourist destinations in Dehradun, starting with Sahasradhara. So I am at Sahasradhara. There's nothing much to see here, just landscape, but there's an ancient myth about this area. Located about 14 kilometers away from Dehradun city, Sahasradhara is one of the most popular tourist spots in Dehradun. The myth attached to the stream boasts about its medicinal properties. Legend has it it's because of the presence of sulfur in the water. अगर आपने इस पानी को छू लिया, it's guaranteed your skin problems are gone for good. Can I pack this? So I am at Robbers Cave right now. It's about 8 to 10 kilometers away from Dehradun city. कहते हैं in the olden days, Indian robbers used to hide here from the Britishers. Hence the name Robbers Cave. The cave has water flowing inside, which is why it's advisable to wear slippers or chappals to enter. If not, you can also rent them from outside. The entry fee is about 25 rupees and the chappal fee is about 10 rupees. So I just got done. I liked the place. It was a little crowded and pani mein chalna thoda sa mushkil tha, but it was very pretty. The water was also pretty clean. And it looked very gorgeous. I've never seen something like that in India ever before. So if you're here, you should definitely check this place out and try coming on a weekday if possible, or maybe early on a weekend so you avoid the crowd altogether. After grabbing some lunch, I was all set to explore the rest of Dehradun. Any guesses where my next destination is? Clue? This was where Student of the Year was shot. So we are now at the Forest Research Institute of India. It's about 2000 acres large and it's very popular in Dehradun. Many people come here for long walks, they like to chill here. I just came here to observe the landscape and the building. I've never honestly seen something like this in Mumbai, so I'm pretty excited to show you around now. Let's go check it out. FRI or Forest Research Institute is about 20 minutes away from Robbers Cave and is a beautiful dense institute built in the 1800s by the British to encourage forest research in India. यहाँ पर भी there is an entry fee of 10 rupees. Honestly, if I studied in a college like this, I would be so happy. I would be so motivated to go to school or college. अब एट एलोरा बेकरी, जो देहरादून के सबसे ओल्डेस्ट बेकरी है, सबसे ओल्डेस्ट बेकरी मानी जाती है. When I came here, honestly, there were two bakeries that were named Elora, so I got confused. But this is apparently the oldest one here.
पिस्ता बिस्किट सबसे फेमस है.
अच्छा, और ये बटर टॉफीज भी मैंने सुनी है, बहुत फेमस है.
प्लम केक रस दिखाओ बेटा, एक पैकेट 10 लाओ सही. प्लम केक सबसे फेमस होता है.
अच्छा.
क्रिसमस केक होता है, ठीक है मैडम.
So I'm gonna try their most famous product, which is their butter toffee. I am now at the Jhanda Sahib Gurudwara, which is one of the oldest holy sites in Dehradun. Interestingly, Dehradun को अपना नाम यहाँ से ही मिलता है. पता है, I learned that Dehradun gets its name from Dera that was set up in Doon Valley in the 1600s by Baba Ram Rai, who is the 7th Sikh Guru Har Rai. ये देहरादून से देहरादून तब बन गया. After this Dehradun tour, I was all set to head back home to Maldevta, where my driver had a rather interesting ghost story to tell.
शाम के टाइम पर, इस टाइम पर ना 6 साढ़े 6 दिन में नहीं, अकेला आदमी जा रहा है कोई, या दो जा रहे हैं, तो एक कोई लेडी से मिलेगी, लेडी अकेली जा रही होगी, वो हाथ देगी. नॉर्मल आदमी ये सोचेगा बेचारी को जाना होगा आगे किसी गांव में, तो वो उसको लिफ्ट दे देगा. तो अब बाद में पता चलता है कि लिफ्ट देने के बाद में कि वो भूत निकली.
और फिर क्या करती है?
वो कुछ करती है, गायब हो जाती है, और आदमी जो है कहते हैं कि नीचे खाई में गिर जाते हैं कहीं.
अरे बाप रे.
कहीं बच जाते हैं, कहीं खाई में गिर जाते हैं.
Don't know about Bhoot Pret, but I got back home well before dusk to Maldevta. In fact, even as a solo traveler, it's best to limit wandering out in the dark. So I just got back to my hostel well back in time. To be honest, if it was any further late, क्योंकि पहाड़ियों में क्या है, if it gets too late, it gets dark, and if it gets dark, it's not extremely safe. You know, whether it's with regards to people or animals, or even जो roads है वो रात को शायद दिखते नहीं है, because here there on the mountains there aren't a lot of lights. So you know, a pro tip if you're traveling in the mountains, get home back safe and soon. After grabbing some dinner for 120 rupees, I was all set to head back to bed. My overall expenditure for today, including stay, food, commute, and other charges, came up to 3,360 rupees. Hello and good morning from Dehradun. It's my day 2 here, और आज हम explore करेंगे Maldevta. You see, yesterday was all about this city. We went to Dehradun city, we went to all the popular tourist destinations, but today is specifically about Maldevta. सुना है यहाँ पे एक बहुत सी beautiful सी stream है, and there's like a village here. I've never lived in a place like this, so let's see. Also today आज breakfast के लिए है fruits, which I got from Dehradun city yesterday. To be honest, the food here isn't that great. It's kind of like cold storage food. Also, the restaurants here are really, really far away. In addition to that, मेरी जो उत्तराखंड ट्रिप थी अभी तक, I've been only eating outside food, and it has really affected my health scare. So I'm trying to get back on track and detox a little bit, and primarily stick to fruit diet. So I'm going exploring right now on my scooty, which I rented for $200-300 just for today, and the view is so gorgeous. I'll show you. So from here I went exploring around Dehradun on my scooter, which was after filling fuel, which cost me 110 rupees. That is when I found this secluded pool-like section of the river with beautiful turquoise waters. It was so crystal clear, I could not just see my feet, but also shoot incredibly clear underwater. The location was just within a few kilometers in a less crowded stream of the river Twello. You know, सर्दियों में आइसक्रीम खाने का मज़ा ही कुछ और है ना? वैसे ही थी ये ठंडी ठंडी पहाड़ियों की पानी में डुबकी लगाना. I for one loved swimming here. But the cold eventually started catching up. So I'm beginning to freeze right now. So it's time for us to go. After grabbing some lunch on my way back, which cost me 70 rupees, I was all set to head back to my hostel. You know what's the best part about staying at hostels? It never gets boring. There are always some events organized like campfire or games, almost like a social club, enticing interactions among guests staying. Back home at Ghost Stops, we played Uno and other board games and activities. Not to mention the amount of friends you end up making with different backgrounds all over the country. This is what I love best about traveling. Here I end my second day where my total expenditure was just 560 rupees, which was majorly food, fuel and scooter rent fee. So that marks the end of my Dehradun trip and overall my Uttarakhand trip as well. I'm in the cab on my way back to the airport, finally going home to Mumbai after 10-11 days. All in all, I felt like Dehradun is a great place to explore. The city is just like any other city, gives me really city homely vibes. But the place that I was staying in after that, which was Mal Devta, is a beautiful, beautiful property and needs to be explored at least once. Thanks for watching the episode and tuning in on Curly Tales for more solo travel hacks. Until then, this is me, Neha Nambiar, signing out. Breaking down my travel expenditure for 2 nights, 3 days at Dehradun. My overall stay charges at the hostel cost me 1070 rupees. Travel expense including cab fare from Rishikesh to Dehradun and Dehradun to the airport came up to 3800 rupees. Commute fare, which included the one day I rented the cab and the scooter, came up to 2050 rupees. Fuel charges for the same came up to 110 rupees. My overall food expenditure came up to 620 rupees. All of this totaling 7650 rupees, which was well under my 8000 budget.